When trying to lose weight and gain muscle, what is the best type of cardio to do? I think it really does depend on the person and where you're at in terms of how your body burns fat. I think I take a lot longer to burn fat, so I think, you know, in general, the best response to this is HIIT cardio and doing the high intensity interval training. That way you can preserve your muscle mass that you do have. You know, it's hard to lose fat and gain muscle when you're marathon training, and I've done that, and it's tough because you're doing long bouts of endurance training that does break down your muscle essentially. So the shorter interval bursts of cardio are huge. They get your heart rate elevated like through the roof, and it helps you to burn calories throughout the day, even if you're doing short bouts like 15 to 20 minutes. Are found to be very beneficial, and I believe there is a lot of research to support that as well. What's a good product to cleanse out the body other than eating healthy, which I already have been doing, and drinking lots of water? Well, honestly, as a dietitian, I would say those are the best things you could be doing. I guess cleanse out the body, I'm not exactly sure what you mean, although a lot of people like to use the term detox as kind of like resetting their body's organs and things of that nature. I'm more of the believer that you need to detox on a daily basis by nourishing your body with, you know, a lot of variety, a lot of color, fruits, vegetables, all kinds of stuff. And I really think it is that simple, is you know, cleansing your body with the food you eat and drinking lots of water. I do have to say, for the times that I'm not so good about drinking, I'm awesome at drinking water. The times that I'm not as good of eating, you know, the ample fruits and veggies that you need, I do think the MTS Nutrition Greens Plus Multi-Complex is a good product because it does have those greens blended up in there with lots of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, so that can be good in addition to what you're doing. Okay, so it's an extra supplement, but in general, I am of the mindset of, you know, food and water is what your body needs. Can we see a pic of you and Jason dating in high school? Hopefully we'll be able to show you some of those. If you had the chance to use a time machine for a one-time, round trip, return trip optional, how would you use it? How do you guys come up with this stuff? Like, these are great questions. So you're saying go back in time to Costa Rica? Yeah, in a way I'd like to say going back to a time when there was no responsibility, but at the same time I was such a different person when there was no responsibility. Like, I was so less confident and just wanted to hurry up and be an adult. But at the same time, I would love to go back to being a little kid in my parents' house with my brother and sister running around playing in the summertime, not a care in the world, just like, you know, I was in the Girl Scouts, like life was good, we went, you know, it was just fun and carefree. At the same time, I was a little kid ready to be grown up. I'm an old soul at heart. So it'd be fun to go back to be a kid, but yeah, it'd also be fun to time machine, hot tub time machine to Costa Rica and probably stay there. Property's pretty cheap and there's fun shit like chickens and goats walking around everywhere, and I'm weird and I like farm animals and like random animals, and the culture there was just, I don't know, it's such a, for anyone that's traveled before, and I haven't done much of it, it's such a culture shock, and it really makes you like see what we have living in the, you know, in New York State and in the US, but I would love to live over there and just stay there. Like let me and Jason just go there and like live our lives. That would be pretty cool. But it would have to be a hot tub time machine. What's your favorite cheat meal? That's a wicked hard one to answer for me because I am like the least routine person when it comes to eating. Like, my husband and I are total opposites. He would eat the same thing hands down every time. Me, I like to get something different. But I guess, like, if I'm really doing a cheat, like, sometimes if I say it's a cheat meal, I order pretty healthy when I go out to eat, but if I wasn't going to order healthy, I would say a bacon cheeseburger. I love bacon and I love cheese and I love meat. So slap those babies together with probably some sweet potato fries and maybe a side of steamed broccoli for some micronutrients, and I'd be pretty good. But I'd have to have dessert afterwards too. I am a sweet and a salty. I refuse to give you an answer of which one I prefer. It has to be sweet and salty. So after that, I would definitely want to have something that involved chocolate and peanut butter, or maybe some frozen yogurt. Okay, what are your current macros, and are you cutting or bulking or maintaining? And I know a lot of people hate the macro question. I don't really care if people ask me what my macros are. It's not a big secret, but I will preface it with saying, like, everyone's macros are different, so I think sometimes people hear of people's macros and they're like, oh my god, she eats that much and I only eat this much, and whatever, who cares? Everyone's different. I really haven't been counting macros, but the last macros that I was counting, I was doing 150 carbs on a training day, about 120 grams of protein, and 30 grams of fat. The fat gets really tough for me. That's where I start to get a little mental, because I love my fats. I'm better with cutting carbs than I am my fats. And currently, what was the question? I'm not cutting, bulking. I guess I'm kind of maintaining. I was more just taking a time off, to be honest. I wasn't like trying to be in one of those little groups, to be honest with you. I was just trying to be more of an intuitive eater and give myself a little break from having to label where I was at in life. But I'm currently gonna go into more of a cutting mode, I guess, so I'm gonna start tracking macros for a little bit and probably in a week or two assess, you know, where I need to go with them. I love this, guys. I'm currently dieting. Is it okay I have 3 to 4 beers every night as long as they fit into my calorie count for the day? I love beer. I love my beer. I don't, like, how many calories are in beer? Like 100 calories or so? So you're having like 400 calories from beer? Dude, I gotta tell you, I get that you love your beer, but as a dietitian, I cannot tell you that it's okay to fit 4 beers in your macros every day. That's where macro counting goes wrong, okay? And we're all guilty of it, but maybe like have 1 beer. I don't know, 3 to 4 sounds like a lot, but I don't know, depending on your size and your tolerance, maybe that's just how you do it. But yeah, I think the diet's going to be a little tough for you with 4 beers every day. I think you're never going to get to that amount of leanness that you're going to want to get. So you might want to reconsider the beer. Sorry, buddy. I know that's not the answer you wanted. How did you meet your husband? I met my husband. We're both from the same town. I met him because we both worked at the movie theater, Messina Movieplex. And I started working there when I was like 15 years old, and Jason was working there all through high school, and he even still worked there when he was in college. So he would come home from like college breaks and work and stuff, and I'd be like, who's that skater kid? Like, he seems really cool and funny, you know, but I was like, you know, a little bit younger than him, and I had a boyfriend and whatever, so, but yeah, that's how we met, working together at the movie theater. So that's our little story. My sister, who is your daddy and what does he do? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Schwarzenegger. This is coming from a 62-year-old. Does today's busy lifestyle of training, being online, Instagram, YouTube vids, Facebook, etc., prepping foods, balancing married life, and playtime with Winston seem you need time for R&R, unwind, and chill? Thank you. So I think he's basically asking, you know, how you go about managing all of that. And it is a lot to manage. It is a very busy lifestyle right now. I think in life in general, most of us we have to do more with less time, well, less time in the day. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, but more work is thrown upon us. So, you know, I do work 40 hours-ish, maybe plus some, depending on how hectic my work is, which has been crazy right now. So in times of that, sometimes my career in regards to that takes priority and I'm not as good at prepping meals, or there isn't as much time to unwind and relax, and you are a little more stressed. So it can be challenging to manage all of it. You know, my time off is very precious to me. My days off on the weekend are very precious, so I use a lot of my weekend time to prep food, to do the YouTube videos, to Instagram I do like every day because I'm addicted to it. I just love Instagram. Facebook, I can like forget about it, but I love Instagram, so that's a priority. The gym, I just make it a priority for the most part. You know, it works out well that usually Jason and I both train first thing in the morning when you have no excuses, there's nothing else going on. The end of the day after work though, you usually can have 14 excuses why you shouldn't go train and you should go home and relax. So I try to, you know, do the workout in the morning. That way after work I can relax, and sometimes a good way for me to relax, I have been trying to do yoga, which I haven't done in a couple weeks, but that has been a fabulous way for me to kind of unwind and feel more rested and feel more balanced. So I would try yoga of some sort if you need that in your life, but it is a challenge balancing it all. What is your husband's job? My husband is a jack of all trades. He does a little dabbling in everything. He also works a 40-hour plus, way plus some. Dude is always working. So he's basically a graphic designer for Express Mart convenience stores. He works in their home office here in Syracuse, New York, and he also oversees their entire print shop. They do all their signage out there, so he's develops all their signage, manages everything amongst other responsibilities he has there. So he does that 40 hours a week. Plus, as you know, he is the brains and the beauty behind my whole YouTube, does all the editing, all the badass editing on all my videos. Plus, he does a lot of other side jobs with video editing and design, which is absolutely his passion. He is phenomenal at it, and yeah, what else do you do, babe? Love me.
Love you.
You love me. He takes good care of me. He loves me.
And just generally be awesome.
Yeah, he just generally walks around like really lean and awesome and eats a lot of ice cream.
Yes, every day. 5 to 6
But he
servings.
does, yes. So that's him. Do you get jealous of Jason crushing a carton of ice cream every night? I love that question. Fortunately, I do love my sweets, but I'm okay with it, and here's why. Because his top ice cream flavors do not appeal to me, and maybe I'm weird, but he loves mint chocolate chip and plain chocolate ice cream, and I actually don't like either of those ice cream options. So it works out in my benefit because he can have them in the freezer, and I won't even like sneak a little taste when he's not looking, because I don't care for them. So I'm totally good with it. If he was sitting down like eating chocolate chip cookies or like Reese's peanut butter cups every night, we might have some divorce papers filed because there would be some issues there. Either that or I'd be like 300 pounds right now because those are probably my go-to desserts right there. So no, I'm good with Jason crushing his ice cream every night, and it keeps him happy. So a happy husband with a full belly of ice cream, well, is a gassy husband, but it also keeps him happy, so I'm good with that. I like this one. This is a good one. What is the story behind the phrase "titties approved"? I don't really have a whole story behind it. I can just tell you, I remember in high school there was a guy I was friends with, and he used to always say, "It's the tits," you know? Like if something was cool, he'd say it was the tits because he was a dude and, you know, he liked them. So me and my sister kind of used to say it, making fun of him in high school. And then it stuck with us 20-ish years later that we would always say things were the tits. And then that changed from tits to titties because, I don't know, it sounds a little more girly saying titties. It's a little more fun, rolls off your tongue nicely. So then we would say things were titties. And I don't know what video it was. One of the videos doing like some food tasting and stuff. Like, I said it was Titties, and I think Jason actually was like, is it Titties approved? And I'm like, yeah, it's Titties approved. And it just kind of stuck, and I think we gotta get Titties approved to go viral. I gotta get that shit patented. Put me on Shark Tank. Yeah, that's it. It's not really a great story, but that's the story. Titties approved. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up this Q&A video, although there are lots more questions to answer, so don't worry. I will be doing more videos to answer your questions. So if you don't already, go to Instagram and follow me and ask more questions below if you haven't already. And you're curious how I get my hair to look so freaking epic for my videos, I will share that with you. Thank you for all your support. If you need some watermelon machine fuel, go to tigerfitness.com. We'll have the link in the description for that. You guys are huge supports to me. Don't forget to get my little cookbook if you don't already. Created by myself and Jason. So we appreciate all your support. We love you guys. Please ask me some more questions, and I'll see you soon. Like the video. Oh, I feel like I leaned out much more than I did for Buffalo. I came in much tighter. I believe I was like 4 or 5 pounds lighter for Rochester than I was for Buffalo. So it was great for me because I pretty much at a local level had the same judging panel.